An industrial design refers to the ornamental or aesthetic aspect of an article. An industrial design may consist of three-dimensional features, such as the shape of an article, or two-dimensional features, such as patterns, lines, or color. So a design is the appearance of a product. It is not an invention, and it cannot have a technical character. If an object has a given shape for a technical reason, it cannot be protected by a design right. The protection of a design is important for industries making products that are particularly appealing to the customer for their shape, like a lamp, a bottle, a chair, or a table. Multiple designs can protect objects in the same category having small differences. A design shall be protected by a design right to the extent that it is new and it has an individual character. A design shall be considered new if no identical design has been made available to the public before the date of filing, or if priority is claimed, the date of priority. Designs shall be deemed to be identical if their features differ only in immaterial details. Contrary to an invention, a design must not be inventive, but it must possess an individual character. A design shall be considered to have an individual character if the overall impression it produces on the informed user differs from the overall impression produced on such a user by any design which has been made available to the public before the date of filing, or, if priority is claimed, the date of priority. The evaluation of the individual character is made by the informed user, who is not the common user but an expert, typically the buyer of a big company, aware of details and able to appreciate small differences. In assessing individual character, the designer's degree of freedom in developing the design shall be taken into consideration. In a very crowded field in which lots of similar products are present, a small difference will be sufficient to give the product an individual character. In a less crowded field, a bigger difference from what already exists may be necessary. A disclosure shall not be taken into consideration for assessing novelty and individual character if a design has been made available to the public by the designer or his successor in title during the 12 months period preceding the date of filing, or, if priority is claimed, the date of priority. So, to be validly registered, a design does not need to be completely new, but it enjoys a grace period of 12 months during which it can be registered after having been made public by its author. The concept of priority also applies to designs, which can be filed nationally and then extended abroad, claiming priority. For a design, priority can be claimed within a period of 6 months from the first filing. The shape of a product, which is solely dictated by its technical function, cannot be protected by a design. The product protected by a design shall be visible during its normal use. Therefore, for instance, an engine piston cannot be protected by a design. Upon registration, a design shall be protected by a design right for one or more periods of 5 years from the filing date, up to a total term of 25 years. The registration of a design shall confer on its holder the exclusive right to use it and to prevent any third party from using it without his consent. This shall cover, in particular, the making, offering, putting on the market, importing, exporting, or using of a product in which the design is incorporated or to which it is applied, or stocking such a product for those purposes. The rights conferred by a design right upon registration shall not be exercised in respect of acts done privately and for non-commercial purposes, acts done for experimental purposes, acts of reproduction for the purpose of making citations or of teaching. When a design is incorporated in a component used for the purpose of repair of a complex product so as to restore its original appearance, like in the case of spare parts of cars, every state can have a different legislation allowing or not allowing the use of the design. For instance, in Italy, the use of non-original spare parts incorporating a design is allowed, while in France it is not. This means that in France, if a spare part incorporates a design, only original spare parts can be used, or spare parts produced having a license from the design owner, thus limiting the competition in the spare parts market. For the registration, there is a national way, a community design way, and an international way. A design can be registered in a state and then extended abroad, claiming priority from the first filing within 6 months. A community design can be filed with the European Union Intellectual Property Office. The design right will be valid in all the member states of the European Union. The international registration of a design is governed by the The Hague system, administered by the World Intellectual Property Organization. The The Hague system for the international registration of industrial designs provides a practical business solution for registering designs in over 64 territories through filing one single international application. A design can be protected also without registration, but just for a period of 3 years. An unregistered community design is obtained when a design is made available to the public within the territory of the European Union and not registered within the grace period of 12 months. While a registration gives certainty on the filing date and on the design itself, an unregistered community design right may be hard to defend if, in case of litigation, a proof cannot be provided of what, when, and where the design was disclosed for the first time. Though the unregistered community design lasts for just a short period of 3 years, since it does not require any registration, it can be very useful to protect products like fashion articles having a very short life period on the market.